every startup can be the next Google or now the next OpenAI.
There is a target, there is a vision. Yeah,
but it's political dynamite in India.
The question that everybody should be thinking, after what you just said, that your initiative in India, and with the challenges that not only India but other countries and other visionaries like you in India are also, I'm sure, they're everywhere. And with all these factors, considering the kind of initiatives every country is taking, it's not that easy. It's not that easy to push. There is policy, there is people, there is agenda, there is interest, there is a target, there is a vision. All these things are in front of you, and like you are doing this over here, there are many in different parts of the world. Now, when the question comes where there is pricing, there's an initiative, there's an agenda. Pricing, and with all the subsidies and everything that's happening in India, and you have been working towards the initiatives of this production and making sure things change in India, it's difficult. At least I see that it is not that easy to put it all through in a very nice and a seamless manner.
No, one of the challenges is that we're a startup company. And we're in a business which has the right purpose, which is to address the climate change issue. But our plants are asset heavy. And unfortunately, the whole investment community tends to dislike asset heavy businesses.
Right.
We've fallen in love with, the investment community's fallen in love with the idea that every startup can be the next Google or now the next OpenAI or ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And now I don't for a moment want to appear as a Luddite and that technology is not going to be transformative. It will be. And it will be a great help to us in solving climate. But it can't fundamentally solve the climate issue. But good at all as it is, you're going to need a lot of hardware assets. And the most daunting thing that I see when we go to conferences like the India Energy Week, for instance, and you see displayed before you, a fossil fuel industry, which let's not forget, in its heyday was the most profitable set of businesses in the world, and is still making an unconscionable amount of money even today, has spent the last 50 to 70 years investing in the infrastructure in order to manage those fossil fuels. And if we're going to replace them, we are going to need an equal level of investment to match that level of infrastructure.
That's where,
and as a startup, that's extremely challenging.
It's extremely challenging, yes.
We've got as far as we've got, God bless them, because we've got a lot of committed angel investors who've helped us along the way.
We had similar visions, I think. That's where you managed to, put it through, right, in the last few years.
Yes, but that we're now beginning a Series B round, looking for in the scheme of things, for us a much larger fund of money, so that we can now put the infrastructure in to do what we've now learned how to do, which is to take the organic fraction of municipal solid waste and turn it into 2 climate-friendly products. Our biomethane gas, which we can have applications for cooking, for putting it in a vehicle, for taking the diesel out of a backup generator set, as well as
huge one.
Well as the whole other issue. See, what we do is just not about producing energy. It produces a biofertilizer. And that's a particular issue as well in India. India's soil carbon levels are at a dangerously low level. And I actually think that's a bigger crisis that we're going to face than the one we're all aware of with fossil fuels.
Correct.
Because a healthy soil India is between the tropics, so it could hope for would be about a 1 to 2% level of carbon in its soils. No soil in India has much more than 0.3. Now, unless we fix that, and scientists have written reports on this that say we've got about 20 years to solve that. If we don't solve it, we'll see what's already happening is our yields are flat to declining. Our soils will turn into dirt, and we will not be able to grow anything.
Correct.
So that's an equal crisis. So in some ways, what keeps me going, despite all the challenges, is this is a unique solution. You're addressing, in our case, waste piling up in the city in landfills or dumped on the street or being burnt. You're solving an energy issue with the biomethane you're producing, but you're also producing a nutrient-rich, carbon-enriched organic fertilizer as a byproduct, which can go back to the soil and put carbon in the soil.
It enriches.
So you're addressing waste, you're addressing energy, you're addressing fertilizer, and you're addressing agriculture.
Correct.
There's very few solutions in the world that can solve so many issues in one.
Undoubtedly. This is. I've been following, your company for, almost a couple of years, 2 years now. And I see that this is undoubtedly a kind of I would call it a solution where it's got multi, advantages here. And a few months back, I did, visit one of your plants as well, in Siddipet. And when I saw that and when I met the farmers, and I was so happy, as well as I was so shocked, that the manure quality and everything that the farmer talks about, after using the manure and not using the regular material, what's the difference? And that surprised me that, the guy has not even gone to school, for all these 60 years that he's been farming, with the father and now himself. So, I was so happy to see that. But now, that the question that came into my head, and then, we converse, and what I wanted to know is now, with all these subsidies, and these solutions you guys, already into the market, how the balance will happen, how this...
And that's a real challenge, particularly in relation to our organic fertilizer, because... what India has done, and it's a perfectly legitimate point of view that says farmers must have chemical fertilizers, particularly urea, if they're to grow anything.
It's been years.
And therefore, what the government is focused on through the Ministry of Agriculture and the Department of Fertilizers and Farmers' Welfare is to ensure that the farmers have ready availability to urea and that the price is affordable. That's a perfectly legitimate political aspiration.
That's a support.
The issue is that unfortunately the production costs of urea have gone up significantly. So the subsidy level on urea has reached a proportion that I believe, and I'm not alone in this, there has been several ages of reports around this, is unsustainable. I mean, in a fiscal year, this year, India is likely to spend close to $32 billion subsidizing urea below its true cost.
Wow.
Now, that is not, in my view, economically it's sustainable. And it's certainly not environmentally sustainable, because if you buy, look, for instance, a bag of urea is available today across India for around 266 rupees for a 45 kg bag.
I got to know about that.
The cost of that, in reality, it should be closer to 2,500 rupees. So of course it will need subsidizing.
Yes.
My question is the level of subsidy. And it's going up every year. And it has all sorts of distortion effects. One of the biggest impacts is that it puts the impression in the farmer's mind that a bag of fertilizer should cost around 266 rupees.
Yeah, that's
which is not a realistic.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, with diammonium phosphate, the government can't afford that level of subsidy. So a bag of DAP still costs, even with the subsidy, around 1,500 rupees a bag.
Correct.
Now, I can build a profitable business with organic fertilizers, but given my plant production costs and the way I make it and my bag costs and the shipping costs, I need to have a price to the farmer around 500 to 600 rupees. Why would a farmer in any logical world swap from a bag of urea at 266 to a bag of organic fertilizer? It's not going to happen, and it isn't happening. Exactly.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that's an issue that needs addressing. But it's political dynamite in India, because what politician is going to stand up with a voter base of 150 million and say, "Hey guys, vote for me. I'm going to take the subsidy away." However, what I would argue is back in 2014, India withdrew the subsidy from diesel. And there were lots of protestations that it will cause food inflation, there would be riots in the streets, the economy would collapse, and it didn't.
It didn't.
India today, now no one of course wants to pay more for diesel. But diesel back then, because we were trying to, we had an idea that we could replace the diesel used with backup telecom towers for our gas. The reason we couldn't back then, diesel was only priced at around 42, 43 rupees a litre.
2014.
Today it's around 85 to 86 rupees a
That was way
litre.
back. Yeah.
So it's almost doubled. Okay, but the sky has not fallen in.
Correct.
India has managed to be able to now charge a global price for that diesel, given most of it comes from imported oil. And you know, it's moving along.
Right.
So it can do it if there's the political will. Now, if you actually put the clock back, if India had not removed the subsidy,
yeah, that's a good way to.
and then and look at what it would cost you today, had that happened, the subsidy would be twice the fertilizer subsidy, which would have ruined the company. So it was a good decision that it took. It was a brave decision. It was the right decision, and you did that. I think we have to address the subsidy, and I'm not for a moment saying we should get it up to 2,500.
Yes. No,
What I'm saying is we need to get rid of the imbalance that it's causing,
There is
which is strangling, in my view, strangling at birth the idea of building in India indigenously homegrown, large-scale organic fertilizer industry, which puts carbon back in the soil, so farmers can grow healthier food sustainably.
Perfect.
That's what we need to do.
No, you're absolutely right, and I totally agree. And I'm pretty sure, you know, those people who are listening to this, and when they understand this imbalance, anybody on the ground in India would think like that. And this is a great message, actually.